Hey beautiful family. Put a video on, took it down the other day. It's a bit of a habit of mine sometimes, but I was speaking about synchronicity. Just feel like I could have been more succinct, and I feel like it's an important topic. Over the years, people have told me and accused me that I'm trying to get people to be passive in the world by saying you've got to get still to build change. And this is my experience still in life, is that you've got to get still, you've got to get present. If you're going to build change that hopefully ends suffering and improves this human and sentient journey here on our beautiful planet. And so I want to share a story with you, because recently our dog rescue, Kilimanjaro Animal Rescue, has partnered with Dogepound, an NFT group which is linked to the Ethereum blockchain. And they have agreed to help us finish construction of our new animal rescue shelter, support the running costs of 100 dogs over the next year, and also start their own fundraising campaign among their community with a goal, an amazing goal of $200,000 towards our dog rescue. Which is just, considering 6 years ago I was borrowing money from people in this country to pay for the guys looking after the rescue dogs and nailing bits of scrap wood together to be able to keep them somewhere. For me, strapped into this journey, it's just phenomenal. And again, synchronicity. Synchronicity, a word termed and coined by Carl Jung, who said synchronicity is an ever-present reality for those with eyes to see it. It basically means a coincidence with such meaning that it can't possibly be just coincidence. And so, let me share a story with you and a little about how I use synchronicity in my life. Not use, how I follow synchronicity, how I know I'm on the right track when it comes, because it is the language, in my experience, of manifestation. It's the language of destiny. It's the language of love. I get a lot of people writing me and asking about helping. And it's very hard to answer everyone, and we're working on getting support for that so everybody gets an answer. But sometimes things come through and it's so heavy, synchronistically speaking, that you know something's coming. And this is a language, and it's a language you can only have by being still. The more relaxed you are as a human being, the more ability you have to be present in the moment. When I am relaxed without my mind and the tension of my mind, my brain is free, my heart is free, my brain cells are not used up clinging to a mental identity. And so, when you're in that state, what's coming towards you arrives with you in a much more succinct and aware way. And if you look, for example, when you say to a child, pay attention, and they do this is nonsense. This is not how you pay attention. To pay attention, and you allow your senses to do their job, because your mental character can't make them do anything. And so I receive. Let me start fresh there. My son got into koala bears because of a book called The Koala Who Can. And in this book, there's a koala who clings to a tree and has to learn to let go. Beautiful story. And so we bought him a toy koala, and I went to the forest and got an old branch that had fell from the tree. And I asked the forest if I could take it, as I would, because I really have a lot of understanding with the forest is me and I am the forest, and vice versa. And so I brought this branch home and I put my son's toy koala in it, and I took a picture and I sent it to our family. And I said, this is Aslan's new koala. So for the first time in my life, I took a photograph of a koala up a tree, a toy one. That evening, a wonderful guy called Lee, who lives in Australia and was actually staying in a temple in the bush with a 70-something-year-old hippie who built this temple by hand out of scrap wood, etc. And he was staying with this hippie in this temple, and he sends me a picture of a koala up a tree, and he just had an urge to send it to me. So I knew at this point there's something about to happen. Something manifesting, because this is a big, get your attention, look at me right now, there's a situation here, there's a synchronistic situation. So I told Lee, I just took a picture of a koala up a tree and now this, and so we get talking, and Lee has this idea to connect us with Dogepound because he's part of the NFT group. And so we go forward, we meet the Dogepound guys, and Lee, with his amazing heart and the stillness that he carries on the other side of the world, manages to help us in a huge way. Now, in among this, the Dogepound guys team, they said, I'd like to make some sort of digital gift certificate, and we have an idea of what that can look like, and they send us a certificate of a koala bear from the WWF, as an example. So they don't know about the koala story at this point, by the way, and I think they still don't know. We're probably going to have to share this video so they know. And so we had this little chain of koala through the story. And this is the language of synchronicity. Sometimes coincidences are so big, it's like, pay attention here. There's something that has to happen in the world, and you're part of that. You're part of that manifestation in some which way, shape or form. You're part of this manifestation of something happening and something beautiful, because synchronicity is the language of love. Something that is based upon the love and the betterment of sentient life, a life experience in this world. And so I follow synchronicity, and I follow it with great reverence, as you can imagine a medicine man in the desert, and you hear that they see an eagle and they know it means something. I have this language in my life. Koalas was new to me, but I only came to Tanzania because of following numerical sequences. When you're not living in the forest, spirit can't use an eagle or something. Well, it can when I'm here. As many of you know, I've had these experiences with animals that are quite profound. But when you're living in the West, then of course your environment and the language of spirit shifts within there. And so mine was this manifestational gateway that I walked into, this synchronicity I followed. It was following the repetitive synchronistic events around 11/11 that brought me into Tanzania with no money, with no plan. And look what happened. Look at all the great things that God did in this world. Look at all the great things this human body God did around. And I take no ownership for any of it. None. Do you think a tree takes ownership for being a tree? Take no ownership. A human body that the will of spirit came through. But to be that, to be fully present in the light of silence, here now on the knife edge of the present moment, your mind has to be over, and your brain needs to be liberated. Because your brain, here and now, imagine you're a human entity. You're just a human being for a moment. Forget the mental identity, forget your memories, forget your anticipations, your desires. You're just this human, and you get plonked here as an empty human being with no memories, no identity that you've clung to around those memories to form a mental image of yourself. You just appear spontaneously, and you appear here spontaneously so as the will of unconditional love can use you as a tool in this world to build something founded on that unconditional love. And it gives you the guidance and the wisdom and the direction and the support and the others in the same position. However temporary, however long the position they're in that consciousness for, you just appear. There's nothing inside other than the capacity of the human brain, other than the capacity of the human body, here and now, and with no separation, no doubt, no belief, no symbology, is driven by the same thing that's beating your heart and growing your hair, to do the will of unconditional love in the world. That's the state of consciousness that we can enter it. We can be there. Born again, present moment awareness. You can be there. And when you're there, synchronicity is the language of that space. Because words can be involved, but words incorporate time and symbols and mind. And so sometimes it's just present moment occurrences happening that you end up following. Because the language of love is synchronicity and vibration. The language of God is synchronicity and vibration. The language of spirit is synchronicity, vibration, however you want to term it. And you stay here present, free of mind. Just a vessel to do that will and nothing else. These synchronicities will come if you can reach there. If you can do the inner work, the synchronicities will come. And you will follow them. For even I, recently as well, for an example, someone reached out to me and said, I would like to translate your videos into French. And I was very busy and I didn't reply for a few days. And then for the first time ever, I get a comment from someone saying, is this video available in French? So I said, I could take a hint. It's a big coincidence. So I get involved and we start translating the videos now with a group in France into French for people who can't access what I'm saying because they don't speak English. And it only happens when this is driving you and this is still like a pool of milk without a ripple on it. It's just there, ready. Your brain is not there to talk about this, to talk about that, to think about this, to plan this. Your brain is just there, poised and ready, in the present moment, for that will to direct it and show it how these hands and feet can be of service to that secret, unconditional love that exists inside all of us, but must come through without a mental identity. For the inner mental identity, it has conditions on them. And so if you want to understand synchronicity, it's a meaningful coincidence that will lead you towards the greater good. If you want to understand synchronicity, you can't understand it with the intellect, you need to experience it. If you want to experience it, you've got to let go. But if you then say to yourself, so how do I let go? The one who said, how do I let go, is the thing that's in the way. And so there's not a process of letting go, it's a arising. It's an instantaneous, momentary realization. And you can inquire as your day progresses. Am I right now the mind of myself? Or am I the source of the mind? Am I the will of that which grows my hair and grew me from child to man to woman? Am I that right now? Or am I the mind and all of its programs? And if you inquire like that enough, the synchronicities will come. And they will use you to manifest a more beautiful world. It's glorious to watch. And it's not working through one, it works through others in unison. It's glorious to experience, to partake in, because you will have no control over it. That which thinks it can control it will be the thing that makes sure that nothing happens in that sense. Just the human that appears right now, fresh, no memory, no mind, no identity, just here to do the will of unconditional love. You can be that. You are that. God bless, guys. Bye.
The existing shelter here at Kilimanjaro Animal Rescue is full. Thanks to the support of the Doge Pound NFT, we will be able to rescue and care for a further 100 dogs who urgently need a loving home.
I'm a vet here at Kilimanjaro Animal Rescue. I'm enjoying being here.
So when they arrive, we are bathing them. They're going to smell very good. You can see that the shampoo is working.
We are all very excited here at Kilimanjaro Animal Rescue and the Doge Pound NFT for this new shelter and the many lives it will change.